Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara, CPA, coming to you live from downtown Flushing, New York, for another amazing version of How to Win at Business. And I discovered this exercise a couple of days ago, and I apologize, but it might look strange, but I can't tell you how relaxing it is because today is the last day of tax season. And yes, it's total chaos, not on my end, but on people that wait until the last minute. Let's face it. I got huge returns to do on Friday. Returns that usually take a couple of weeks to do. So that means they're going on extension. But if you're watching live, give me a hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. And if you're not watching, you don't have to do anything. And if you don't know me, I am an entrepreneur that happens to have a CPA license. And I just love talking about business. And if you want to talk to me about your business, feel free to connect with me by going to timewithjoe.com. And also, before I forget, let me invite you to my free mastermind. No, that's not it. All you got to do is go to mastermindwithjoedechara.com. And every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, we network, we learn, we play Jeopardy. We have a lot of fun. And then on Tuesdays, we have Tech Tuesday with my friend Elizabeth Frederick, who just seems to know a lot about technology. and that's my story. I'm sticking with it. But tonight's topic, folks, is about what do you do if you don't have the money to pay your taxes? Because that's a problem. That's a real problem for a number of reasons. But let me start by saying that it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way because if you followed my program, which what we do is year-round tax planning. There is no, oh, usually it's April 15th, now it's May 17th. Oh, I owe money. What am I going to do? If you owe money, you should have known that in January and plan for it. One of the things that I do is I help people create s-corps. That's one of my stealth tax strategies. This book is available on Amazon. We're going to be promoting it on, I think, June 22nd. And that's a strategy to keep your taxes down. So before you have to worry about not paying your taxes, let's talk about keeping your taxes down. For one, but let's say you're beyond that. You already owe money and you want to know what to do. So the first thing that people think is that, oh, I owe money, I'll go on extension. Well, it's not an extension to pay. If you owe the money, the IRS wants that money. And technically, you're supposed to have 90% of your taxes paid in by the due date. And it's even more complicated than that because they want the money throughout the whole year. That's why a lot of people have to pay quarterly. But let's say, okay, now it's May 17th. We got, less than 6 hours to file a return and pay the taxes. Well, you don't have the money to pay the taxes. So let's say you file an extension without the taxes being paid in. Now, technically, the IRS could say that's not a valid extension, meaning that they can hit you with late filing penalties. So if it's not an extension, it's an extension to file as long as you have the right amount of taxes paid in. Okay. So if you owe money, filing an extension is not really the solution. Because in 6 months, you're going to have to come up with the money. So what if you don't have the money? Well, millions and millions of people decide not to file. They say, well, if I don't file, I won't have to pay. Or whatever their thinking is. They just don't file. And the truth is, yeah, if they filed, the IRS will be on them right away. And the state. But that's not a solution either, because what usually happens is when you go to file the next year and you owe money again, what are you going to do? Well, like I said in the beginning, the first step is to make that not keep happening. So whatever that's happening, that's got to be changed. And that's what I do. I try to get people on track, lower the tax liability, and not keep doing that. But all things are relative. So let's say you owe money and it's only a temporary thing. You're like, okay, I'm going to have the money later. Let's file. And if it's under $10,000, it's not a big deal to the IRS. What they will do is they'll just send you a letter, and you can easily go on the IRS website and make an installment agreement. It's as simple as that. But when you do that now, you're agreeing to keep all your other taxes current. Now, part of the problem with the IRS is that they are so far behind. It takes time for the collection process to catch up with you. But it will catch up with you, believe me, because the IRS is the biggest collection agency on the planet. Okay. Now, another thing you might be able to do if you're really down and out, let's say you're older, or you're not able to work, you're disabled, you don't have a lot of assets, you might be able to file for an offer in compromise. In other words, the IRS makes deals with people that will never be able to pay anyway. So you could actually wipe the slate clean a lot of times, or even a combination. You do an offer in compromise for part of it, and you make an installment agreement for the rest of it. The IRS likes installment agreements, and I'll tell you why. It takes time and effort to try to collect money. Once you go on an installment agreement, it's like you're off the desk. If I have you on my desk, my job is to get all these people off of the collection status, because that's where you are. You're in collections. You don't want to be in collections. So once you do an installment agreement, you're out of the collections unless you default on the installment agreement. Now, let's say you owe over $10,000, you can still do an installment agreement. It's just at a higher level. And they will negotiate with you, not on the amount due, but on the terms, because it's based on financial ability to pay. And again, you need to have your records in order. You have to be able to prove what you're saying. And that's it in a nutshell. So if you owe the IRS money, you're not going to be able to hide. It's going to catch up with you sooner or later. If you think you're going to hide in like cryptocurrency or something like that, that's a fantasy, because at some point you're going to have to cash that cryptocurrency in. And there might likely be an IRS lien on it, believe it or not. Don't even ask me how that's happening, but they are able to issue 1099s to people that cash in their cryptocurrency. So there is no hiding, folks. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. Also, I have an event coming up. Hey, Pat, how are you? You're a rock star, too. June 15th, Pat, sign up for my workshop on generating cash flow to pay yourself more. We're going to talk about things, Pat, like establishing business credit. Maybe you want to be a guest, so just ping me. I would love to have you. And that's it. God bless. I will talk to you again shortly. And now I'm off to finish the rest of my clients' extensions. Thank you. Good night.